Now the Minnesota Vikings running back Dalvin Cook is very soon going to be former Minnesota Vikings running back Dalvin Cook. He's going to hit free agency, and the question is, where is he going to land and play in 2023? Well, you're in luck because we have the top 8 Ocho Dalvin Cook landing spots. A couple are sort of surprising, and we're actually going to start at the bottom. Number 1 is the Buffalo Bills. Now, obviously, this would be the heartwarming one where him and his brother James hook up and are the backfield of a potential Super Bowl contender, which would be great. But I don't know. Like, the Bills are pretty up against the cap. Now, I don't think that Dalvin's going to get a ton in free agency. Yeah, maybe 4 or 5 million, somewhere in there. They do have Damian Harris, Naheem Hines, also the ageless wonder. Latavius Murray is on the roster too. And the Bills, they aren't all about running that ball now, but also don't sleep on, hey, that guy played well against the scouting. And remember, Dalvin busted that 81-yarder against the Bills to really kick-start the heart of that comeback last year. So, I don't know, maybe Brandon B makes a call. But Dalvin, I don't know. I always feel like Dalvin, Florida guy, played at Florida State, warm weather guy. I always felt like if he had a choice, he wouldn't want to be in Minnesota or a cold weather place. So Buffalo, obviously, maybe not so much. Next up, number 7, the Commies. Now, Eric Bieniemy is taking over that offense, hopefully going to transform it, revolutionize it. Now, Sam Howell needs some help. Yes, they do have a nice receiving core led by Scary Terry McLaurin. Yes, they do have Antonio Gibson, which if you play fantasy, every single year is like, this year is going to be the Gibson year, right? They also have Bijan Robinson. Brian Robinson. It would be nice if they had Bijan, though. But Robinson Jr. Coming back fully healthy this year, which is awesome. They do have $11.6 million in cap space, but Dalvin in DC would make some sense. Also, I mean, Dalvin caught the game-tying touchdown against the Commons again. And, hey, that guy played well against the scouting. Next up, number 6, Cleveland Browns. Now, hear me out. So, Andrew Berry, former mentor, former boss of Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. Obviously, they would get the 4-1-1 on what's going on with Dalvin. Also, Kevin Stefanski was the Vikings. He was the Vikings OC for 1 year, and also he played a myriad of other roles along the offense. So he knows Dalvin inside and out. And even though they do have Nick Chubb, they do have Demetric Felton, who I like from UCLA, as well as Jerome Ford. They didn't bring back Kareem Hunt, but they have found a way where they can coexist in a multi-running back scheme. They have a great offensive line. They really want to get after it. Deshaun Watson is there. So does Dalvin make sense in that spot? It's a possibility. And also they have the cap space to do it. Next up, number 5. Ooh, missed. Swing and a miss. Arizona Cardinals, Monty Osiford and company have $26.6 million in cap space. They have James Conner. They have Corey Clement, former alleged Super Bowl hero, as well as Tyson Williams. So rather thin at the running back position. I do think Dalvin and James Conner will be a nice 1-2 combination, but also I think the Cardinals are fully in on tanking, and they want to save as much cap space as possible. So maybe that's a non-starter there. Then teams were reportedly in on Dalvin. Number 4, the Cowboys. They have the cap space to sign him. They still could bring back Zeke, but obviously this would be Tony Pollard's show. And how many? Wow. Just really going through it this morning. Also, they have Deuce Vaughn, 6th-round pick coming out of Kansas State. They have Ronald Jones, a 2nd on the roster as well. But Dalvin would fill in that Zeke role that he played last year, probably in a reduced role too, because I think this is going to be Tony Pollard's backfield. Next up, number 3, the Jets. Now, it's weird. How do the Jets have that much cap space after they signed everyone? Whatever. Anyways, they do have Breece Hall come back from injury. They do have Michael Carter. They do have Izzy Abakanda coming in from Pitt. So their running back room is pretty damn solid, but also, I mean, this could be a spot where Aaron Rodgers is just like, hey, Dalvin's been really good against the Packers. I want him. That's all. That's literally all it could take. Next up, number 2, the Denver Broncos. So a little bit strapped against the cap. They're big-time spenders in free agency. Also, screw Sean Payton, but their GM, Jumpin' George Payton, was assistant to the regional general manager when the Vikings drafted Dalvin in 2017. Also on staff of the Broncos is Clint Kubiak, who is the Vikings OC back in the day. They have Javonte Williams, who is a supreme talent, except he's coming off of ACL injury. Also, they have Samaje Perine, a little bit more of a power back. So Dalvin into that mix would make a ton of sense. And then lastly, we know what's up. We know it's up. I'm coming home to the place where I belong. But also, Dalvin, playmakers all over the place. McDaniel runs a very similar outside zone scheme to Kevin O'Connell, so he'd be able to hit the ground running there. And yes, they re-signed Mostert and Jeff Wilson, and they drafted Devin Kane, but Dalvin would be running back one in that room from day one. So it would make sense. If he does want to return home, he'd be able to play in front of friends and family. He had a great game last year at Hard Rock when the Vikings played the Dolphins, capped off by a 53-yard touchdown burst. So that makes sense. But yeah, feels weird to talk about that. It's finally happening, but it is what it is. Anyways, that's it. That's 8 landing spots for Dalvin Cook in free agency. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.